everyone. So as you all know, or if you don't know, I went to cosmetology school and I became a licensed cosmetologist. So I actually went through the whole program and I went through the testing and everything like that. And I constantly, all the time, get questions on my old channel, Vlog 33, about cosmetology school. So many different questions wanting to know like how much it was and if I got to keep the kit and if I would recommend that school and if I could do a video about how cosmetology school really is or the do's and don'ts of it. And I get those questions all the time, and I just decided I would make a video and answer all those questions because I get them a lot and it's a lot to just answer so many times over and over again when I can just like state it here, and then people that are wondering about it can just come to this video and watch me fix my hair because it's messed up. Oh, it's so messed up. You guys, don't even look at that part. That part doesn't want to behave. Anyway, so I'm gonna just address cosmetology questions today, all about my experience, and just answer some common questions, tell you how it is or how mine was, to anyone that's wondering. So, most common question, where did you go to school? Or for people that still think I'm in school, where do you go to school? And at first I didn't want to answer this because it was when I was going there, but I'm not going there anymore, and plus the school isn't where I live anyways. So I will just tell you all, it's Blue Cliff College. That's where I went, Blue Cliff College. And it's not one of those fancy, you know, Paul Mitchell or Aveda or nothing like that, because where I live and where the school was, that's the fanciest one. People ask me, would you recommend this school? How was it? Some people comment on my video and say, your school looks so ghetto. That looks like a trade school. That is so trashy. And you know what? Yeah, it kind of was. It is a trade school, and I will accept those comments that it looks ghetto and trashy because it's in the South, and I'm not saying the South is trashy, but you know the stereotypes about that. It's obviously not as nice as one that you're gonna go to in like New York or something. So yes, that is how it was, you know, we just had thrown together and we learned there. A lot of people are like, I want to go to your school, and where is it? And I really don't recommend that you come here and go to that school if you have other options, because I know there are better options than that school, and I just know there are. Like, I'm not saying that school was terrible, but I mean I did learn a lot there and stuff, and I don't regret going there, I guess, but it's just, you know, it wasn't the best school. It was just, teachers were always coming and going, and there was just always issues, and we never got to use what we were supposed to use because the school was being kind of cheap, like just kind of annoying stuff like that. How much was your school? My school when I went was about $13,000 to $14,000. I think they've upped the price now, but a lot of schools are like $20,000 or $22,000, $25,000. And then if you go to like a community college, they're only like $3,000 or $2,000, but that wasn't my favor because there's no community colleges around here that offered it. Did you pay for your kit, and do you get to keep it to use it on yourself? Yes, I paid for my kit, but it was included in the tuition. I think my kit was around $1,500, but that was included in the tuition, so it's not like I had to pay it all before I could get it. You know, I got it when I first started there and, you know, made the payments while I was there. And yes, I get to keep it to use it on myself. While I was there, I could still use it on myself and bring it home and stuff like that. And then after you graduate from there, you just keep it to, you know, use on yourself, your family, your clients, in the salon, anything. So yes, I still have the kit, even though I'm not working in a salon, and I still use it for myself and whatever. How long did you go to school? So the program is about a 12 or 13 month program, but if you don't know, it is a clock hour program. It doesn't mean you just go, you can miss a certain amount of days and you still get the credit. It's every single hour you miss, you make up that hour, because you have to have 1,500 hours where I live. So I didn't want to miss at all because I didn't want to be there any longer than I had to and pay extra money after a certain time. But I guess people didn't care, so they were there like 6 or 5 months more than they needed to be, or they would quit. But I only missed like 3 or 4 days the whole time I was there, so I made it out in I think 13 months. Yeah, I started in March and I got out in April. So I was so proud of that I did that. that quick and didn't have to stay longer. Okay, this is how my cosmetology school worked. For all of you that don't know like what you should expect or how it's gonna be, my school worked like this. I'm not saying that all are like this, and some could relate to this, but my school was that you started off in the classroom and you would go to each month would be a different class, like, and it didn't go in a certain order, it was just whatever was kind of open. So I think my first class was, you know, fundamentals of hair care. So you take that for a month and you're in there. And then the way it is with us was we traveled with the same group to each class. It wasn't like you were mixed up with a whole bunch of people. So you get so close to that group that you're with. And then next we went to like, I don't even remember, but each month was a different class. Like next you would go to like hair cutting 1, and then if hair coloring was open, you'd go to hair coloring, and then hair cutting 2, nail care, facials, makeup, pedicures, like anything, you would just go to that class and stay there for a month. So the classes that I took were like nail care, skin care, hair cutting 1, hair cutting 2, chemical texturizing, which is like perms and relaxers, and hair coloring, and fundamentals of hair care, and you take salon business, which teaches you if you want to have a business or what you need to do for that. And then after you have taken all your classes in the classroom, then you will go out onto the floor. It's a salon floor. It's a salon that we have in the school, and we take the public and you work on real people there. So once you've had all your classes, then you go out on the floor, and that's where you stay for the rest of your hours. So I was on the floor I think about 3 or 4 months, and the way it worked with us when I was there was, I think Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before 12, we just worked on mannequins at our stations. And our stations were like salon chairs, you get your own. And there's a room with a shampoo bowl, and there's like a room where we keep all the color. And then there's a classroom in there too, because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays in the morning, we worked in the classroom before lunch, you know, just learning all that extra stuff that you would do in the salon. And then after lunch, I think we worked on the mannequins at our stations. And there was a weekly sheet that we called it, and every day there was a list of things you needed to do. So you do it, bring it to your teacher, they'd look at it, they'd sign off, they'd give you a grade on it, and you had to do everything on that list. And then on Wednesdays after lunch and Thursdays and Fridays, we took clients. So all week people could call and make appointments, and if they wanted you, then they would say that, and they could request you, or there was a list of names, and we just went down the names and gave people who was next. So you got whatever you ended up with. And so you would know what time your client was for, and they would come in and you would do whatever they needed, and they would sit at your chair, you know, and they weren't allowed to tip us, but if they wanted to do it secretly, then the teachers would look the other way. I don't know if I should say that, but then they would pay their ticket, you know, you walk them out, and if they wanted to book with you again, then they could, and you could get your regular clients in there. And also, we would do any service that they wanted, and we would put that on our weekly sheet, and they could sign off for that. Some days they wanted us to get the feel of how it would be in a salon if we were booked with appointments all day. So they would set on the board all these things that we had to get done and act like it was clients. They'd be like, haircut 9:30 to 10, hair coloring 10 to 11, perm 11 to 12:30. Like, you would just like have each thing you had to get done in that amount of time, and people would be rushing everywhere. And then you would bring it to the teacher, and she would check it off, and she would write down how much money they paid you and how much they tipped you. And then at the end of the day, who made the most money won whatever they won. So those days were stressful, but they were kind of fun if you were getting it done in time. So how state board was. So on when you're in school, you're working on that weekly sheet, obviously, but they gave us a sheet too, and it said like 300 haircuts we had to do before we left. We had to do like, I don't even remember. No, we had to do 300 like styles and heat thermals. We had to do like 200 haircuts, like 30 permanent waves, something like that. And it's a block sheet, and you have to fill in every single time you do it, the date and what number it is, and you have to have that whole sheet filled with everything you did. And that's how we did it. So when you're about to be done with your hours, you have to turn in your block sheet, and it has to be filled. And also there's workbooks and that you have to have done to turn in whenever you're finished too. So you turn in those finished workbooks, which you work in the classroom. So when you get out on the floor, you should be done with those workbooks. So State board, the test, the way that we prepared, the way that they changed it for our state is that we'll part the hair into 4 sections and we'll do a certain thing on each section. So we may do like a braid on this section and a highlight on this section and a haircut on this section. And I think we did like 7 or 8 out of like 12 things. So I can make a more detailed video about how I did this or how it was for my state, but every state's different, so it won't be exactly what yours was, but I could at least show you how I did it. But anyway, there's a list of stuff that has to be in every single bag, because you pack a separate bag for each thing. You pack a separate bag for like your flat iron, for your highlighting. Everything is in a different bag, and the list will tell you everything that you need for that bag. So you have like a million bags prepared for everything, because you don't know which 8 or 7 you're gonna do. And then you have a general bag which has everything you will generally need, like a first aid kit, a water bottle, clips, stuff like that, broom and a sweeping broom mop. What is it called? Broom and dustpan, yeah. So you have one of those in there too. So you will schedule your test. We did ours on Pearson VUE, so we went on there. We scheduled our test. Practical, which is when you actually, doing the hair with the 4 quadrants. And then there's theory, which is you study your workbooks and all that, because that's like a written test. So you have to pass the practical. Here you have to make at least a 70, so I think that means you can make 3 mistakes. And the whole time you're taking your test, there is a person watching you, making sure that you do everything right. And then after that, they'll tell you if you pass or fail. They'll give you an envelope. I passed, thank God. And then after, you will schedule you can schedule your theory. It depends. You'll sometimes it just depends how you schedule it. My theory, I think, was after that. So like a week later, I went to another testing site, took my theory. That was just like multiple choice. And it's also on state board, because there's theory and state board. State board is like you have to learn all the laws for your state for a salon. So we got a state board book. Your state should give you one too. So you study the state board book and the theory, and then you take a test on that. And I think you have to make a 70 on that too. So I passed that. And then you send in your application for your license. You have to send in, here I think it's a $50 application fee. You have to send, I think, 2 pictures of yourself, but that's before, because that's to get your acceptance to take the exam or something. And that's pretty much it. Then after that, you wait for your license, or you have to send copies of your 2 past reports, and then you get your license in the mail. And I got my license, and I'm not going to show it to you guys just because it has like all my information on it. But that's how it worked, and that's how it was for me. As far as the do's and don'ts of cosmetology school, basically do mind your own business. Do stay out of drama, because as you would imagine, it is a school full of girls and pretty flamboyant boys. So of course it's going to be drama filled. People are going to get offended about stuff. People are going to hear stuff. People are going to talk about people. So you want to stay out of that. You don't want to be putting your name into it and voicing your opinion and getting yelled at, unless you're into that kind of stuff. But you don't want to be the one known as the drama person, or the one who talks about everyone's work, like, oh, did you see that haircut she did? That's just so ugly. Or she doesn't know how to get close enough to the scalp with that foil. Like, just don't talk about people, and don't do that. Like, we're all learning. Or just don't make drama. You don't want to be known as the one that makes drama and that nobody wants to be around. So I don't know what else to tell you. Don't get like upset if you don't get something the first time, because you definitely will. When I was doing finger waves, it killed me. I just hated it. It made me so mad. But I got the finger waves, and then finger waves turned out to be one of the favorite things that I was good at. So you never know. You never know. Just don't get discouraged. It is a learning process. And don't get upset if you can't do something that fast, because the more you do it, the faster you'll get. You will get so fast. And as far as wondering if you should attend cosmetology school, I would say make sure you know it's something that you want to do. Like, I understand if you like doing your own hair color or you like doing your own makeup, but you have to like doing it on other people too, because obviously that's what you're going to do. And if you don't think you're a people person, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because you deal with people constantly. And that was one of the reasons that I didn't do it, because I did like doing all the stuff with myself, and I did like learning about it. But when it came to other people, I was like, no, I don't want to do this for you. I just want to do it for me and know it for me, or family or friends. But I didn't care about the strangers or doing any of that. And also, I'm not a people person. Like, I didn't want to deal with people. I didn't care about their lies when they were telling me. But, you know, whatever. I sound kind of mean. I'm not mean. I am kind of mean, but not really. I mean, some people I did care about. Some people I was just like, I don't care about what you're telling me. Just doing your hair because I have to. But really, when I got on the floor, that's when I realized I didn't want to do it. Now, I don't regret going because I did learn a lot, and I met a lot of people that I love. So that was a great experience. I'm just saying that you got to really make sure you want to do it, because whenever this lady came in, she told us that like most people that get out of cosmetology school don't end up doing hair. And I know so many people that ended up not doing it. So just make sure that it's something you want to do. Really look into it and picture yourself, you know, working every day with a bunch of people that will be mad at you and will be screaming at you, but also people that are, you know, going to be happy, and it does make it worth it for that. But you just got to look at the overall view. It's not always going to be peachy. You know, you may cut somebody's hair too short and they may be crying. You may be coloring their hair and it turns pink. You may do something, their hair may be falling out, you know, but you got to be prepared for that, and you got to be ready and able to handle it. And it does suck sometimes, but if it's what you really want to do, then you do it, and then you'll be happy when it's done and it's accomplished. One last thing I'd like to add, please, please, please keep up with your timesheet and your hours, and keep up with your block sheet, because oh my gosh, if you're not keeping up with your hours, you know, nobody else is keeping up with that for you. Like, I mean, the school will too, but you want to know how much hours you have left, how many, whatever. And also, my school would sometimes be wrong with hours or shortest hours, so we'd have to show them proof of what our hours were. And also your block sheet, because you don't want to have to be, you know, at the end of your time and you still need like 30 haircuts and you have like a few days left because you didn't record the ones that you did. Like, record everything that you do if y'all do block sheets there. And please keep up with your workbooks. You don't want to be finishing workbooks last minute. Just do it when you're in the class and you're supposed to do it. I know this video is so long, but I hope that I gave you guys all the information that you were needing or wanting on cosmetology school, even though it may be for different states. It's kind of like the broad view, I guess, of how mine was. If you have any other questions or you want any more specific videos, definitely just let me know. I won't mind doing it, because I know how it is when you want to learn about something. You want to research and get the exact answers that you need, and I may not be able to give you the exact ones for your state, but I can tell you how it was in mine, or at least what to expect, maybe. I don't know. I could be telling you all wrong if you are in a different state, but at least you can kind of get a feel of how it was for other people. So I'm going to quit talking and rambling, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!